Hello and welcome to the Rock Your Voice podcast. Vocal coaching tips that will transform your voice, interviews that will inspire, industry guidance, and so much more. Without further ado, let's get on with the show. Hello and welcome to Singing with Mix Part 2. Hopefully you've already kind of gone through Part 1. Another big thing is that you are warmed up before we dig into this one. I just did a really cool warm-up on the weekly vocal workout, which is a subscription that I offer, and it's the one that I just did was like a free-form vocal warm-up, so you don't need a keyboard to follow, and there's a ton of different exercises so that you can do it at your own kind of leisure. You don't need a keyboard or scales to follow, but you can really manage the warm-up of your voice. So that's just there. I'm just mentioning that if that's something that is of interest to you. And I add new workouts every week on the weekly vocal workout, and you can check it all out using the link in the comments or the show notes. But let's get mixing things up. If you excuse that pun, I'm so sorry. All right. So last time we looked at those kind of balloon exercises with the whoop, whoop, and the with your tongue sticking out. We looked also at the crunchy NG shapes with the really tapping into that pharyngeal resonance, that resonance behind your nose, that buzz that takes it away from your throat and up to your nose, because none of this should ever impact your throat. You should never feel scratching in your throat, tension in your throat, pinching, anything in your throat. If you're going to feel anything, it's more kind of resonance behind your nose, up around the roof of your mouth. So we're really aiming to lift the sound to that space, which is going to form that bridge between your head and your chest voice, allowing you to sing nice and strong up high. I believe we also looked at the hoo, hoo, ee, and the So let's just review that, because that's the easiest way to kind of tap into getting that vocal cord connection and that coordination that will help you get into your mix. So with a really kind of hooty round hoo, hoo, just going from two very different coordinations there. So it's really round, really open, hoo, hoo, and it's easier to kind of get into it with the hoo because it's just loose, it's light. So if you go a bit higher and you go hoo, 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 and it's all very gentle. There's no push. I'm keeping the placement of the note in the same space. So it might sound like there's more power and a bit more kind of implied push with the versus hoo, hoo, but it's all resonating in the same space. So the light high hoo is just as effortless as Okay. So play around with that. Make sure it's all feeling really comfortable. And now we're going to start digging into some different exercises. We're going to look at that NG, like a sing. And these, I'll play these down low and I'll sing up high. So we're going to go with the right into the roof of your mouth. I'm just going to go just dropping the back of your tongue. Now here is where it's really important that you keep that nasal resonance, because otherwise you might sort of go to a like you might start yodeling here. So making sure that it's kind of a little bit thin, a little bit ugly, and we're gonna I'm not going to go too high because some people might just be exploring their mix. This is not necessarily strengthening and building like a power mix. This is just starting to get your handle on it and understand how it all's working for your instrument and getting it comfortable. So you usually, female voices will start to come into an area, into that bridge where you want to start tapping into a mix if you want that power, around the sort of G sharp here. So here's where you might be kind of going from like a and it's kind of pushed, and then you go and it gets breathy and it just releases up into that really light head voice. Now with your mix, this is where we're going to be going from as opposed to all breathy. The key is to listen for that breathiness, because that's going to indicate whether or not you've got the chord coordination, whether the chords are coming in nice and close and everything is teeing up really nice for you to hit that mix, or if it's really yodeling, or if you're pushing and straining. If you feel strain, you're just pulling your chest up and you're just really overworking your instrument, and you do not need to be doing that. That is almost more of a mindset shift of just training your brain to relax and explore what your instrument can do. So don't be afraid to have a bit of a mindset shift where you can just kind of be like, you know what, this might get a bit ugly. It might get a bit kind of rough sounding around the edges. Don't be afraid to let it sound a bit weird and a bit ugly, just to go into that. So again, we're going to go up to that NG, and for the males, it's kind of around the sort of B, C sharp area where you'll be right on that bridge. The F sharp is usually pretty strong, pretty high for the chest voice there. It's a lot of work there. So that's where you'll definitely want to be in a mix. If you feel like you've either gone full Bee Gees or your head is about to explode, pause, check in, make sure you're transitioning to an actual mix, and that's where you would tap into that hoo hoo to make sure that you're moving through things nice and gently. Please, of course, there's probably a lot of questions, maybe more questions than answers coming up now. Email me, emma@rockitvocalstudios.com. That's ROCKIT, vocalstudios.com. I'll also put a link if you were interested in booking a one-on-one session, because we can totally do that. And most of the time, it just takes one session to just kind of tap into all this, make sure you're doing everything right and healthy, and then off you go. So yeah, not in the business of locking people into like years and years of training until you actually figure something out. But yeah, if you've got questions and you want to just check in with your voice for one session, please just let me know. Happy to do that. So coming back to, let's come back down to the A here. And so the males will be coming up into it, and the females, this is where you will have transitioned, where you want to be in your mix. So we're going to go with the and this is kind of getting into a higher mix. So if it's too much, don't push it, just explore it. And if it's too much, just keep working on strengthening and going higher as we go. For the males, you'll be I'll just do a couple more for the males. For females, this is very high. Bringing it back down for the males. For the females, we one more. Come on, Izzy. I got a little foster pup right now. I say foster. She's probably going to end up here. But yes, she's really quite confused about all of these strange noises I'm making. So she's going to get even more confused right now, because we're going to do it. Nya! And it's very nasal, very pharyngeal, very ugly, kind of like an angry cat. So just play around with it right now. Just free flow it with just like nya, nya, nya. If you were to spell it out, it would be like Nyah. We go nya, nya. And you can just kind of play around up high, down in the middle. Nya, 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 nya. Okay, so we're going to hop through here. So we're going to nya, 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 nya. Lower voices can be down here. Actually, I'll play low, sing high again. So nya, 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 nya. 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 This will be kind of coming into that bridge for the female voice. Coming mix. Nya, 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 nya. Right into your nose. Nya, 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 nya. Don't be afraid to be ugly. Nya, 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 nya. Nya, 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 nya. One more. Nya, 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 nya. All right, so that's kind of opening stuff up, playing around with a bit of a kind of random sound to tap into things with a sound. Not really thinking of hitting a perfect note and presenting a beautiful song. We're just getting into that space here. Now we're going to go with a Y. Actually, we'll start a bit lower. So there for the lower voices, and we're going to just kind of cry it down. Go, why? Why? Really like a whiny child. Why? Why? Really getting that whine into your nose at the start. And we're going to go, why? 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 Keep going for the males. This is getting very high for the females. Why? Back down. Just let it be really cryy. Don't worry if it sounds a little ugly, a little too nasal. We're always really scared of going nasal, but that's actually kind of where we're going to really tap into that connection. And once it's comfortable and you've got it, you can really start to refine the tone and make it a thicker, fuller sound than a nasal cat noise. And that's where we take into account like our tongue, the shape of our mouth, vowel modification. And there's another session all about this in the weekly vocal workout as well. A lot of vowel modification stuff to really give more power to your sound without actually putting more effort behind your sound or straining or hurting yourself. So it's really, really important to think about that. So for example, if I were to be, say, here and go the why, if I wanted to change the tone and kind of drop my tongue a bit, give a bit more shape in my mouth, go why, and then to give you an idea of kind of a bit of a higher mix, why, real nasal and thinner, we go why, just changing what I'm doing with my mouth fills the sound. Okay, so you can play around with that. The key is that it's never pulling from your throat. There's never any strain or stress in your throat. Okay, another really good test here. We're going to go with a longer interval here, and we're going to go with a but I will, because that was the females, that's right up to the D. Let's start down here, and this is going to be coming right into that mix for the females up here, but I'll sing the octave up. Males can start lower down. So few more. One more. Awesome. Okay, so hopefully that's all making sense. stay tuned for next session because I want to do more of a power mix session. So this is tapping into it, getting the coordination, making sure everything's feeling comfortable. Next session, we're going to really dig into the power mix and like bring in that power to your voice. So instead of sort of going like a yeah, or like going yeah, like going into a really like heady at the top, you can really bring yourself like yeah, and bring that fun power stuff. Yeah, like play with your voice, do all this fun stuff without kind of having to rely on like holding on for dear life and hoping that it sticks and hoping that it hits or hoping that it won't pop or crack, but getting that coordination so it's really reliable every single time. I have one more thing for you to try. You're just going to go with a and the lower voices down here. So we're going to go and just see if your voice wants to pop into a really light, heady, kind of more of a classical sound or get really breathy, or whether you're able to hold that coordination. Again, it's not pretty, but it's really a big workout for some very, very small muscles, really getting deep coordination with your vocal cords. So that's going to be a game changer if you're always kind of, or you're like, or like, and then it flips and it's like you've got these two different voices. We were normally, and just be able to keep going and have fun. Key is, have fun. Don't let it hurt. If you're anything like me, you probably get really frustrated if it's not clicking and falling into place. Take a little walk around your house, go for a little walk outside, take a deep breath, pet your dog, or do something to just like, whoo. Because if you hyper focus, the brain is going to really start engaging the muscles. It's not going to let it stay nice and released and relaxed. It's just going to really crunch things up on you. So do make sure if you're like, it's not happening, I'm going to keep working it. That's going to probably go in the opposite direction for you. You want to be chill. You want to be just having fun. Think about creating and copying sounds more so than actually hitting the mark with, I'm singing with a mixed voice. Just saying, I'm trying to make an angry cat noise. Meow, meow. Or I'm trying to go with like a, just create sounds. See where that takes your instrument. And then we will dig in further, manipulating the sounds, doing some power mix stuff, and really healthily exploring what your voice can truly do. I hope you had fun, and I will be back with more for you very, very soon. Thank you so much for listening to today's show. I really hope you enjoyed it. Please feel free to like, share, and subscribe. And if you do leave a review, it's really useful to help others discover the show. You can also check out the weekly vocal workout over on Patreon. I'll leave the links in the show notes, where you can access weekly vocal training from yours truly and totally rock your voice. Thanks again for listening. Check out Rocket Vocal Studios on social and on the web, and I look forward to seeing you again next time.